Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
The biggest headline on this college basketball Saturday is
I think Carolina is a legitimate Final Four contender. I saw them a week ago at Clemson, and it was their second straight road win. And now they're 5-0 in the league for the first time in about 8 years. I like them now because for a couple reasons. Number one, they guard. They actually guard, and they're showing their toughness. Number two, they play together. Number three, they move the ball when it matters. Now, they weren't in a close game today against Syracuse, Fanta, but it's not just the Caleb Love AAU show at the end of a game where you're relying on him to just jack up a shot and it might go in, it might not. Now they got several guys who can make plays. Obviously, RJ Davis is the guy who gets it done the most, but he's not just, again, jacking shots, praying if they go in. I love this Carolina team, and I think they're a legitimate Final Four contender right now.
I tried to tell you that last weekend and nobody wanted to listen to me. I think the biggest thing is that we are seeing North Carolina get out there and guard in a way that we haven't really seen North Carolina do in recent years. And it's not really the reputation that they have. Right now they are actually number 5 on KenPom in adjusted defensive efficiency in the country, not just in the ACC, in the country. Look at the numbers that they're putting up over the course of the last 5 games. And I think, we talked about it, how going on the road when everybody else that is kind of in that top tier goes on the road and struggles. We saw Arizona lose on the road tonight. We saw Kentucky lose on the road tonight. We saw number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 5 in college basketball go on the road and lose this week. They picked up wins at Pitt, at Clemson, and at NC State already this month alone. So I think that it's a combination of being able to play and defend at a level that we haven't seen before, having a point guard I guess a lead guard is not really the point guard, but a lead guard in RJ Davis that can go and get you a bucket when you need it, while also having a bunch of guys on that roster that are willing to accept and understand that, like, okay, this is my role, this is my job. And it's a lot of fun to watch this team right now because we know what they can be when they dial it up offensively, right? We've seen them put 100 on Tennessee. Who puts 100 points on Tennessee? Putting 130 on Syracuse is nothing. Everybody can put up 100 on Syracuse. Syracuse guards, like, they have John Fanta and Jeff Goodman playing at the 1 of the 2. But
I would be
how
a 4.
powerful.
I would be a 4 with my toughness.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I can tell you right now, I wouldn't be a 1.
Oh, look, you're an elite. You're elite in ball screens, Fanta. Whatever we would call it. But no, I mean, look, it's the combination of being able to guard and the fact that they have that explosive of an offense. Like, that's the cheat code, right? And you got 2 point guards. Look at all the teams that have won national titles since 2009. They all, for the most part, except for Kansas in 2022, played with 2 point guards. What does Carolina have? Elliot Cadeau and RJ
The only
Davis.
thing I worry about, Rob, the only thing I worry about is that Cadeau can't shoot. That's the only thing. He's got to be able to make them pay when they leave him wide open and dare him to shoot. And he will shoot it. That's the only good thing, is, like, he's not going to sit there and be afraid to shoot it, but he's got to make, even if he shoots 40 from the field and, 33 from 3, he's just got to make enough to keep him honest, because I do love the pace they play at when he's on the court offensively.
I mean, look, I hear you. And it's a question that we've had with other point guards before, right? Severe Wheeler at Kentucky last year immediately comes to mind. DeJuan Harris at Kansas immediately comes to mind. But I think when you have Harrison Ingram out there shooting 40+% from 3, you got Cormac Ryan, who I want to say he's shooting like 28 or 29% right now, but we know what he is as a shooter. RJ Davis knocks him down at an unbelievable clip. I get what you're saying. I don't think it's as much of an issue specifically for this group, because you got 3 guys that are absolute snipers around them. So the space is going to be there. It's not like the floor is going to get constricted. But no, I hear you. I get what you're saying.
Jeff, this run of 6 straight wins has come after they gave up 87 in back-to-back games to Kentucky and UConn. How much credit do you give Hubert Davis?
No, a lot. But again, I give him credit for, you go in the portal and sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get in the portal, right? But I think these guys, when you talk to Bacot and RJ like I have recently, the one thing they'll say, like, Cormac really fit this team. He's vocal. Bacot and RJ are not vocal. They're not. Hubert said it in the, which is interesting because Bacot's one of the best quotes of all time. But on the court, he's not vocal. Neither is RJ. So they got Cormac, they got Harrison Ingram. And again, I think these guys have tasted losing. And I think they hate it. And they understand now that, again, losing, you can put up whatever numbers you want if you're Harrison Ingram or Cormac Ryan. Nobody is paying attention to you when you're losing at Stanford or Notre Dame the last couple of years. But now you sacrifice, and everybody's paying attention to you. And everybody's kissing your ass right now as you're walking around Chapel Hill. And they should be, because you guys are playing the right way, and Hubert has figured out. Listen, I asked RJ, I said, is Hubert coaching any differently this year? He said, not really. He just doesn't have to talk as much because we've got guys like Cormac and Harrison Ingram.
And here's the wild thing about that, John, not to cut you off, so you're about to say something, but if you go back and look at the takes that people had in May, in June, in July, it was that Hubert he's not getting it done in the portal. It wasn't that, oh, look at who they got. They got this guy that could be a leader in Cormac Ryan, and they got this versatile 3/4 that could be a shooter and a playmaker and guard up and guard down and get 19 rebounds in a road game, in a rivalry game in Harrison Ingram, right? It wasn't that they're bringing in Jalen Withers, who could be functional as a backup 4/backup 5, be able to space the floor a little. Like, that wasn't what people were saying. We were questioning whether it was a smart idea to have Elliot Cadeau reclassified, because point guards that classify up rarely, if ever, have the level of success that you would think they would based on where their ranking is and what their pedigree is coming out of high school, right? It was that Cormac Ryan isn't going to be good enough defensively. It was that they're not going to have enough guys to be able to guard. It's that they're not going to have enough guys to be able to play that you need to, the way that you need to be able to play in 2024 to have success. It was, what are you going to do with all these guys around Armando Bacot, right? That's the most impressive part to me, is that the narrative around this program was not what it is right now. And I just think it's such an impressive job being able to develop that, right? And we're going to talk about who our coach of the year is at this point in the season. And I think there's a very strong argument to make that Hubert Davis, whether or not he's talking more in practice or not, being able to get these guys to buy in and do what they're doing right now is incredibly impressive to me. And real quick, I got to say this. Vaulted is an app that allows you to participate in daily cash prize pools without an entry fee. It is the place that you can store your own predictions forever. And by using the Vaulted Challenge feature, you can prove you're smarter than your friends like John Fanta and your enemies like Jeff Goodman. Go download the Vaulted app. That's VLTED to challenge your friends, store your predictions, and join daily cash prize pools without an entry fee. If you look at it right there on the screen, it says that my Vaulted challenge is that North Carolina can get to a Final Four. And I still think that's what it is. And Goodman, you already said that you're going to basically agree with me on this point.
I did not say I agree with you about anything, okay?
Well, listen, here's the thing. So, okay. Well, here's the thing. I think that if you look at the way that teams are built, right, assuming that UConn gets Donovan Clingan back, I mean, I think that if you look at UConn and you look at UNC, those are two of the top 4 teams right now. I think UNC belongs to be in that conversation with the likes of UConn, with the likes of Purdue, with the likes of whoever you want to put up there, right, as the biggest threat to go out and win a national title. Like, it's wild to me that we're at this point. I don't think I would have thought that even 3 weeks ago. It's incredible what this team has done over the course of the last month to be able to improve.
But that's what happens. That's generally what happens, right? Especially in this day and age when there's no dominant team. You have these stretches. And again, Carolina could, I don't think they're going to start one of those stretches anytime soon because they have Louisville at home on Wednesday. But again, there's just not a
Miami
huge
probably said the same thing for the record.
Yes, very true. There's just not a huge gap. So I think you're going to have a bunch of these teams that when they go on the road and they play tough road games, they're going to, like, Carolina's not going to run through this league. We know that. Duke's not running through this league. They may be the 2 best teams in the league, but there's not going to be a ton of separation in most of these leagues this year.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.